You're not wrong, you're just early. The entire timeline is freaking out right now, and to be fair, as they should. They've been here for the past 12, 24 months, learned all these concepts and terminology that doesn't translate to anywhere else in life, and Buddy downloads Coinbase, buys a frog, and is outperforming them. But it's fine, it checks out. I talked about this idea so long ago, how understandable certain crypto are over others, and how meme coins are the easiest to understand, which is the idea that there's nothing to understand. So they were always gonna catch the first bid, and how you therefore probably already should have built out a position for that. But whatever, it's fine now. What about going forward? So do me a favor, don't be the person selling your perfectly fine crypto to go into Cardano or Algorand because they're catching a bid. Remember, these past 5-6 months, I've been one of the few individuals talking about a fast, aggressive pop up in price during this early Q4 October-November period with a subsequent top in either Q4 itself or Q1 next year. And I think so far we are respecting that. And this has given me a bearish title, which I don't know, but the point of what I'm trying to say is that even I think an altcoin season is still around the corner, and to therefore take a deep breath, stop worrying, and do not bud and choke your own bags. Okay, so let me tell you what it is exactly what I'm seeing here. And by the way, if you're not subscribed yet, I think you're gonna miss out. Okay, so back in 2020, it was the week of December 14th where we broke the 2017 high. Bitcoin went up only for 4 consecutive weeks before putting in its first top on the week of January 4, 2021. From this, I'm going to try and find when an altcoin season will start for this cycle. Now, the data was kind of all over the place, but I think there are some quite useful general conclusions we can come to. For example, it seems like some of the biggest winners last cycle put in what I'm defining them as their first significant candles on the week of December 28. That would put it as 3 weeks after the break of all-time highs, where at that point Bitcoin was already 75% over highs. And by significant candle, I'm talking about the first candle, which was the start of a bullish move up. So as you can see with Cardano here, after Bitcoin broke highs, it was sideways, but that first bullish candle printed on December 28th. And I found this to be the case for many of the biggest winners of last cycle. So for example, Chainlink also December 28th, Uniswap December 28th, Solana December 28th, and at that point Sol was still $1. Remember, it topped at 260. So I'm not really referencing anything significant here, I'm just talking about the start. Now to make it relatable for this cycle, the equivalent of December 28th would be next week, which would mark 3 weeks after the break of highs. So there is the first thing to take out of this. If we get a repeat of last cycle, then we should expect for things to start to pop next week. Obviously, this isn't financial advice, but if something even remotely similar pans out, then I don't want to be that guy, but then this would technically be your last chance to get whatever positions you want. But moving on, recall I said January 4th is where we found our first top. Bitcoin dipped a little until the 25th of that month, then presumed upward. But what I found really interesting is during that month, altcoins did outperform, but not as much as you would think. For example, Polygon went up 100%, Solana went up 140%, Cardano as much as 108%. So definitely outperformance considering that Bitcoin was going down and these altcoins were popping up 50, 100, 200%, but not that crazy altcoin outperformance. And by the way, taking it back to that 3-week December 28 idea, that was also the week that Bitcoin dominance topped. And with our current Bitcoin dominance, as you can see, it's still going up. So will we also get the same thing where we top in dominance next week? And also with those altcoins going up 100%, dominance also took a hit, but didn't exactly quote unquote fall off the cliff. But then after that January 25th, Bitcoin shot straight up to 60,000 until February 15th. And in those 4 weeks is when altcoins went crazy. Cardano went up 400%, AVAX 400%, and some altcoins like Solana just kept running, going up 1600%. And the Bitcoin continued to chop and hit 65,000 eventually, but it was during and the completion of this vertical move where altcoins really started running. And the lower cap stuff, something like a theta, kind of didn't stop running. And it was the week of March 29 where dominance fell off a cliff and where we got these low $100 million market caps go to billions. But let's now apply all of that to this cycle. So Bitcoin just broke highs. Next week is when we would expect altcoins to start a move. Maybe it takes an additional week, but the point is, the fact that it's not happened yet is by no means like a crisis or whatever. Then when Bitcoin goes on to make its first top, expect altcoins to continue running, but not outperform by thousands of %. Because I have a feeling that when we get that Bitcoin top and altcoins go on to run, they may not run as much as people hope for, and that may lead to some FUD, but as we saw, it shouldn't get too crazy at that time. It's then when Bitcoin goes on to make its second run where we expect altcoins to really start going. Then Bitcoin will put in its top, and that is when we expect the completion of the parabola for these altcoins, the blow off top. And I tweeted about this, how in 2021 we got the completion of many blow off tops. And currently, I mean, based on everything I said, how can you even kind of expect that? And the small cap Sol casino coins don't count. I'm talking in reference to significant altcoins. So remain patient, that's what I'm doing. In the meantime, I've been trading these Solana AI coins. Some of these trades have gone fantastic. Goat and Zerbro and Fartcoin, but this is my way to stay sort of patient in the markets. Worst thing you can do now is overtrade. There's two mistakes I see people make. Increasing their exposure as coins are going up. That is such a big mistake. Do not do that. If you're still someone new to the markets, then it's different because you still gotta build a position. I'm saying if you already have one, your goal now is to start to exit the markets, not get in more, not flip stuff into something else. You're not smart. Everything is going up. The way I see it is you have one ticket, and once you get out, you can't go back in. So I will give you a real example. Fartcoin, I'm up about 10x on right now. I gave it on my Twitter. If you're not following me there, make sure you go do that. Link is in description. So from this point on, I'm not looking to add exposure to the coin. I want to get out. So every 100 million it gains in market cap, I'm scaling out 5 to 10%, which I then convert into either Tau or Solana as my savings accounts. This is very different from an investment because according to my analysis and an entire team I have behind me, these assets still have to reprice, where once they do that, I will then turn it into the US dollar. For Tau, that'll be when it hits 8,000, and for Solana, when it hits anywhere between 300 and 350. This is very different from my investment Tau, for example, where I have targets greater than 1,000. Just think of it like really high yielding savings accounts. And let's say I take profit in the future where Tau is already above 1,000 and Sol is already above 350. From that point on, all profits from anything go into the US dollar and some Bitcoin. If you're confused, ignore everything I said. Just take profits into dollars. Also, I want you to be really careful of YouTubers who have an incentive to post. Those who post where it seems like it's their main business, because they'll be posting every day and driving titles and clickbait thumbnails, which I do as well every day. And so their incentive for posting is a bit different. Instead, I'd highly recommend guys like Jason Pizzino, Eric Crown, and Ben Cowan, because these guys are actual traders, investors first, and content creators second. Therefore, in my opinion, their POVs are a lot better. But I will leave it there for now. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, comment. Any future topics you want me to talk about, just let me know. But point is, if you're worried, probably don't be, but what do I know? And for any of your trading needs, I've partnered with CoinW. There is a link in description. There's no KYC, meaning if you're from the US, Canada, UK, you can trade freely. They have most of these new crypto, and I'm pretty sure there's some special perks if you sign up, but yeah. Okay, bye.